Kristen with Simply a Steward, and I am back. I am here with my new curriculum hauls. So, if you are new here, this year I will have, I don't like to place them in grades per se, and if you're a homeschooler, you probably know exactly what I mean. But if they were in a brick and mortar school, I would have a kindergarten, a first slash second grader, and a fourth slash fifth grader and a sixth grader. So today I'm going to share with you guys my kindergarten curriculum. So I'm going to start by saying this is going to be her book work type stuff. Now, she will not do all of this every day. These are just the workbook type things that I have picked up for us to work on this year. I love the fact that kindergarten can be very hands-on and play, but she does have older siblings, and sometimes I need her just it's easier when she's sitting at the table to kind of work on books, and she wants to work on the books because her siblings are all working on books. So this is what I've picked up for her. I have found with my other students, we kind of find out what works for each student as we go. So hopefully we will find out that at the end of the year, most of these things were a hit. If you guys like to find out whether things worked or not, I often do reviews at the end of the school year, which I just finished up for my current students who were in, I said fifth grade. I have a sixth grader this year. She was in fifth grade last year, her review, and her third slash fourth grade review, and my son who was in kindergarten slash first grade last year. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into this and share with you guys what I got. You guys may want to grab a cup of coffee. I find that sharing all of this stuff can be kind of extensive. I will do just a quick peek inside, but if anybody is interested in a more in-depth view of any of these, please let me know. I'm happy to do a flip through for you guys. So, something new for us this year, at least new for kindergarten, is the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. So I have always started my kindergartners on the handwriting without tears, and my students we tried out the Good and the Beautiful handwriting last year for some of my older students who completed their books. Sorry, I'm having trouble with there we go, you can see a little better, and they really like them. And to be honest, I really like them. I love that. Again, one of my favorite things about being a homeschool educator is the fact that I can incorporate Jesus into so many facets of our life, and into all of their curriculum. And so I love the fact that the Good and the Beautiful does that. I was looking for that a few years back when I did a reason for handwriting, and it just it wasn't what I was expecting. So what I was looking for was this program. So we're starting this with our kindergartner this year. I have never done it. Now I will be sharing with you guys my upcoming other students' books, and they are a full. This book's even smaller. I'm trying to look here. Here is a book I have sitting to show you guys in a little bit. Here is like a normal size curriculum book, and you can see how much smaller. So most of the books are closer to this size. This book is very tiny, so I was not anticipating that for a kindergartner. My hand is like child size. Literally, my 11-year-old is almost the same size. So that gives you kind of just an idea. This is a very small book. It's not a large book, but here's just a quick glimpse of the inside. So this is what we're going to use for handwriting without tears, or instead of handwriting without tears this year. So I would love to hear if any of you mamas out there have used this and what you guys think for your kindergartner as they are just learning to write. So this will be my first student who I don't kind of have a basis of already knowing how the program necessarily works for them when they're a beginning writer. So I'm very excited to try that out. The next thing I got this year for us to do is the 1-year daily devotional. I have been eyeing these up actually for a couple years. They are by The Word of Life, and Erica over at Confessions of a Homeschooler shared these in some of her reviews even a couple years ago, and I've kind of been eyeing them. But they are, I believe they're like $20 a piece, and then they're shipping. And so for each of my students, that was a pretty hefty price tag when I could get one book, one type of devotion book, and kind of work through it with all of them. But this year I took the binge. The other thing I have been looking at, and I can't remember the name of it now, Bible Smart Bible. I can't remember. Abby over at Rooted at Rest. Those are my two favorites, and that one was really expensive as well. And I would have needed two different ones for my older students and younger students. So when I was checking them out this year, because I wanted to take the plunge and buy one, I really wanted, instead of just trying to make something kind of work for us, I saw that these ones were on sale for $10 a piece. They are last year's edition, but since we did not do last year's edition, it didn't really matter. So I was really excited about this. So this is the early learners, 4 through 6. Again, this is smaller and set up slightly different than the older students. But I'll just flip this open and kind of give you a glimpse inside. It's just a very quick reading something up here that says, I can know, and it says, you can tell others about all the wonderful things God has done. And then down here is the word wonderful starts with the letter W. Can you find things that start with the letter W? So it is just a very basic, like almost Sunday school type thing. God is in control. God protected his people and did not allow the kings of the land to attack them. Circle the correct picture to finish the pattern. So it's not even super Jesus in depth, I guess you would say, but there is a passage up here for you to read. It's just very basic for a kindergarten. I really, I think this is going to be just a fun little way for her to do something and feel like that she is a part of doing her own devotions, and it's still not going to take a considerable amount of time. You know what it's like to have many students that need kind of you to help them with different things, especially when they're younger. So I'm excited to try this out. And then on reading this year, so we're going to do some different things. Reading is where we really focus. Reading and math, to me, are the things in kindergarten that I focus on. The rest of it's kind of extra, and if they enjoy doing it, we work on it. If they don't enjoy doing it, then we won't. If they find out they really don't feel like doing that devotional, we probably won't do it. I have a geography book here I'm going to share with you in a minute. If they find out they really don't feel like doing that, I'll save it for first grade. It's not a big deal. But reading is something that I do spend some time on. So I've got 3 different books. Yeah, 3. And it's not to say that we're going to complete all of these the whole way through. It's to say that we're going to find out what works for her, and we're going to work our way through it. So the first thing is, this is something that I picked up and I've had on my shelf, and we actually started working on it a little bit this summer, and it's a Learn to Read activity book. And it's 101 lessons to teach your child to read. So it's just very, very basic. You're working on, here's the letter J, there's some information, and on this page there's a couple little activities that go with that. And so you do that the whole way through, and we're starting to work on like blends. I don't know if they have digraphs in here. So by the end of this, you're supposed to be able to basically read. So I did pick this up. We did start on this. She does like it. She asks me to do it now, like during the summertime. So I have that. And then I decided that I was going to try All About Reading for my son this year, because he is a struggling reader. We've tried a few different things, and I just decided that I think I wanted to take the leap and try this out for him. And so he was kind of between grades 1 or level 1 and level 2. So because I picked those up, I have this, and so we may use this. She actually was reading a little bit. We did the first couple lessons in this as well over the summer so far, and she has liked doing this too. She was super excited that she was able to read within the first lesson, 2 lessons, a couple words. Now, she couldn't read the whole thing, the whole story that went with it, but she could read some of the words, which was really awesome for her. So it does come with 3 readers, if you are unfamiliar, and they're just, my son must have been reading this. I gave it to him to work on doing extra reading practice, since this was definitely a book he could read on his own. So you can see the words here. Super short, sweet, and to the point. So this is book 1. There are 3 books that go with this level. And there are some extra, there's an activity book that I did not go ahead and buy, because maybe I did buy it. Maybe it came with it. I bought it on eBay. You know how that is. but it does have activities that go along with it. I also did go ahead and pick up, because it didn't come with it on Rainbow Resources, the tiles. They have magnet tiles for letters so that they can be hands-on as well. So that's not a curriculum I have used. I don't know much about it. I can't give you a full-out review of what I think of it. But if you guys want to see all of the pieces and kind of an in-depth look at the way it works, I'd be happy to do that, as well as I know there are definitely mamas out there who have used this curriculum, who have done reviews of like a day in the life of how they've used this program. So the last thing I bought that will be part of our phonics will be Explode the Code. We had so much success with this with my son. He really enjoyed it. So I did go ahead and pick one of these up. I just picked up level 1 for now. If I find that she really likes it, I'll go ahead and I will pick up level 2 as well. I know my son made it through all of level 1 in kindergarten. We didn't start it until halfway through, and he struggled more than I anticipate her struggling. So, but he really, really loved this program. I really love this program. This program is cheap. I love the fact that it's cheap, but it really has it holds it water. So here you can see just working on the letter sounds and circling the pictures. This one's circling the words that are the same. So the top, there's fan, ban, and fan. And this is the word that they are looking for, and you have to match the word over here that matches to that, and then you can have them read it. So it's just something that's very simple, easy to work through. I am not starting with A, B, and C. I did pick up A for preschool, and we worked through the first couple pages, and she really did not enjoy it. But I felt like it was set up much differently than the actual Explode the Codes, rather than, what's that called, before Explode the Code or something like that. So I think she will like this. I am hoping so. We will see. So those are the things that we picked up to work on for phonics this year. I'm excited to see, oh, you know what? I have one more thing. And it's not necessarily something I picked up, but something that we already have. And it is this is upside down. My first reading library with the Usborne books. If you guys are not familiar with these, I picked these up through Usborne when we did the summer readathon last year. My son really loved these. So I have a lot of Bob books. We could do Bob books, but I kind of feel like that's the same type of thing as these readers. So if we decide All About Reading does not work for us, we may use these readers. We may switch over to the Bobs. But these books are fantastic. First off, they're colorful. You will notice this is not colorful. Now they do have a new in color version. It's not the one I got. But I feel like that just grasped the kids' attention. Bob books are the same way. They're all black and white. Second, you can notice that they have small lettering and large lettering. The small lettering is for the adult to read. The large lettering is for the child to read. And so it's in You Read, I Read book. And when you're reading that, when the adult is also reading, it allows for a more complex and in-depth storyline. It's not, obviously it's not some super in-depth story. We see how thick this is, but it does, you know, give more to it than The Cat Sat, which gets a little bit boring in my opinion, both for the parent who needs to sit and listen to it and for the child who needs to continually read it. And in the back of these books, there are some what they call puzzles, and they're just some activities that encourage you to do some retelling or some answering of questions, of reading comprehension, those types of things. Now you will notice there are a lot of books here. We will not make it through all of these books 100%, even if she excels at reading, I don't think. But if you were, it works up from the green through the purple. Once you make it into the purple, they're strictly You Read. So they are strictly just the kids at that point. Just you go read. You can read to me, that kind of thing. But they don't no longer need the parents to be reading the other half per se for them to be having some kind of storyline. So these are for older students at that point. So we have really liked these. I plan to continue using them for both my rising kindergartner and my rising second grader. And as I stated, the other thing that I think is really important in kindergarten, and the thing that I focused on most, are phonics and math. So if you know me and you have been around here for any amount of time, we love Horizons. I will just flip this open real quick and give you a peek inside. And that's probably one of the least colorful pages. Yes, because I got like a tracing page. There we go. I love the fact that it is colorful. I love the fact in kindergarten, I feel it's a very appropriate amount of problems. I will be honest, as the students get older, my oldest will be doing fourth grade this year for her math, and there are a lot of problems. In third grade, there were a lot of problems. I ended up crossing out, several problems. Only do the odds or only do the evens, a lot of that type of thing. In kindergarten, I feel like they can, for the most part, do all of the work. If you have a student who really does not like workbooks, she has started this, and I forgot she started it. See, she started it for fun. If you have a student who really does not like workbooks, then you could do the same thing. You could just do like the front of a page or something like that. But I know that now that I think about this, the day that we did this, we did like 4 pages of it because she didn't want to stop. So this is a biblical-based curriculum, so you may find things in the kindergarten. We've done the kindergarten a couple times, and I can't remember anything. Nothing that sticks out to me specifically, but I know through the years I have definitely seen at 2nd grade and up have had more of the Bible incorporated into it. So if that's something that does not work for your family, just a heads up, there may be a better fit for curriculum-wise for your family. This is a spiral curriculum, which means it will keep coming back. So once it touches on pennies, it's going to touch on pennies and build on it with nickels and dimes the whole way through the year. You're not going to see pennies or nickels and then not see them again. You're not going to have like a money unit. You're going to just keep incorporating it the whole way through both books. So there are 2 books to this. If you don't know how it runs, they have 2 books. So basically first semester, second semester. My students are usually able to finish their books. But if you don't, it's the same thing. Next year picks up, and you can either work through this through the summer, or you can pick up kind of where you left off, or honestly, as we all know, usually the first part of a year is kind of review, and so it's that information again in the next year. But I do really love Horizons Math. Almost all of my students do this, and I anticipate doing this probably through 6th grade. And then we'll see from there. But as far as an elementary math, I really enjoy this, and so do my students. So I got a few extras, like I said, beyond the play, because there are definitely things play-wise that we have, my kids are older, some of them, like I said, I have a rising 6th grader, so I have years and years of games and hands-on puzzles and magnet letters and all of those types of things. So we have all of those kinds of things. So I didn't pick up any of that, although I am going to do a haul of the few things that I have picked up for the school year for all of my students. So these are just the books. Again, this is Evan Moore. If you are unfamiliar with Evan Moore, they have an incredible product. So I started using Evan Moore for my students, and after probably about a year or 2, I went in search of how to become affiliate, because I kept coming across people who said they were affiliates on YouTube and their videos, and I have become an affiliate simply because I love their products myself. So the link down below, if I link any of these, anything Evan Moore will be an affiliate link, just a heads up. But this bright, colorful, I shared this in another video, sorry, as I'm reaching off the screen. I shared this in another video. This is my son's upcoming science. You can see the difference in the covers. This is like a student-only workbook. It's only meant to be used once. You write in it, you're done. This is meant to be like a teacher's guide. You can keep using it over and over for your particular students. It's not made to just make for and resell copies or anything like that. But if you have multiple kids in your school, in your home, then you can go ahead and reuse this. So I used this for my son last year. I have intentions of using it for my daughter. It goes through map skills, landforms, and water bodies, and continents and oceans. So those are all things that we will go ahead and kind of touch on, just get her, kind of acclimated to the fact that there is more than our area. We've done vacations. She's driven, I don't want to say across the country, but she's driven, up to 15, 16 hours away. So she knows that we can go places, I guess you could say. But we when she watches things, we haven't really talked about like the fact that there's different continents and all that stuff very much with her specifically. So I'm excited to use this. Now, this is a teacher's guide, so I've shared this before, but when you buy this, you cannot, even if you only have one student, you can't buy this with the intention of just handing it to your student and using it, because there's a lot of cutting and pasting in this book. And so when you do, not so much that section, but this section, like back here, there's cutting and pasting. And so if you would allow them to cut one side, you won't be able to use the, so here's a page, a perfect example. You need to cut out these pieces and glue them up here. But if you allow them to do that, they will have destroyed this page. So you do need to buy this with the intention that you are going to make copies. So I just make copies of what we're going to do. For me, I pretty much copied the whole book. If you just want to do certain sections, that's fine too. And then you can go ahead, especially if you're using it as like a supplement, you can go ahead and like pop it in a binder, or if you use like a folder system or whatever. So this is something we will definitely be getting into, I'm sure, this year to some extent. I bought the DK science workbook. So last year, as something to kind of just occupy her because she wanted some of her own things, I bought the pre-K. This is, again, very cheap, like $5-ish. I bought the pre-K version for her to do, and she loved it. She asked to do it all the time. And so I did not see anything. I almost did master book science for her and my son together, but I'm trying not to do group subjects even for the two of them. That may change. I may decide that I want to do it as we work into the year. We know how we get into the year, and we'll see how things go. Also, this book is not very long, so she may get bored and want to do more science. I don't know. But I had already bought this when I had found the master book science, and so I didn't want to go ahead and just ditch everything I had. So for right now, we're going to work with this. It's very basic, very kindergarten-esque, very fill-in color, circle matching type pages. Again, she loved this in pre-K, and that's why I went with this, because I could not find, like Evan Moore didn't have a kindergarten level science, so we grabbed this. She's super excited. I'm excited that she's excited, period. So I did not flip through the science in the pre-K or in the kindergarten one. I have gone through the kindergarten one the pre-K one, and there was nothing in there that would like contradict my faith. So just an FYI, I don't believe they're a Christian publisher, so just something to check out if you use any of their older books, because I've noticed that with like Evan Moore, with their older books, they incorporate some things that don't really align with what we believe, and so I have to make sure to note to skip those for my students. So, and then I also picked up this logic book. It was something I actually I found, I think, just like on like sale or at a yard sale, but it hasn't been used at all, and so I picked it up. It was just, it's very simple logic. It's not something she's going to have to do, but it looked like a lot of fun in case she did, you know, just needed a break from math and reading. Sometimes you just need a break and you want to do a workbook, but you don't want to do math problems. You know, I don't know. I love logic in general. I like doing logic puzzles, so most of my kids seem to lean that way. We'll see what she thinks, but so I picked that up. So that is everything I got as far as workbooks for my kindergarten this year. Like I said, we will not do workbooks all day, every day. There will be a lot of play involved. If you guys are interested in some of those things, I could probably do a video for you. I just wanted to share with you guys some of the workbook materials that I got in, and books and different things. So if you guys like these kinds of videos, please give it a thumbs up and keep a heads up, because I will be coming out with more curriculum videos for the rest of my students. So I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.